Are you a coder who gets rejected based on no practical experience or because others have a strong LinkedIn personal brand and you don't? Your coaching institute will hate me for doing this, but I welcome you to Code to Career 30 days challenge where I have chosen these 5 total strangers out of my LinkedIn contacts and have taken up the challenge to help them go from jobless or underpaid to well paid job, that too without additional degrees and certifications in the next 30 days. If you are a coder and wants to get a well paid job, this is your golden chance to experience real project implementation from scratch that gets you a well paid job and builds your LinkedIn personal brand and also resume for absolutely free. So why just watch? Get into our WhatsApp community to experience this. Link is in the description. Now let's get started. Let me start by asking the first question. How is the first day, the activities? How are the first day activities? Type in the chat box how you are feeling. Nice and simple. Yeah, I appreciate that. We started working on day one activities. It seems good. No, you can message to everyone, Abdul. Still working on. In the set of activities given, which one currently are you feeling is the first time that you are doing or something which is difficult? Till these days, I was hesitant to do this, but now I had to do because it has points. Hashtag on LinkedIn. Okay, you mean to say posting on LinkedIn? Okay, it posting on LinkedIn. Since I did not still get your thing, you wrote something and yeah, I was hesitant to do GitHub stuff, but now it seems to be must do thing. Yeah, it is must to actually get even interview calls and to establish proof of your work. It is very important. Posting on LinkedIn. How did you all people find me? And why is that you found me on LinkedIn? If you want recruiters to find you and you want you to be found out by recruiters, you need to be active on social media. And I'm not saying any other social media, but LinkedIn. Yeah. Looks like the other person is not present and he's not joining. So we'll continue with the main thing. So let me share the screen and then we will start with the project idea. And before that, few questions. How comfortable are you with C language on a scale of 5? Like I see a big code, which is what I try to demonstrate, right? Like we our interview was all about a code was shown and then you people tried to figure out what the code was doing. So Mary says 3, 4, 3.5, 3.5. Okay, great. Okay, let us go with the presentation. Are you able to see the screen? It has come up,
So
right?
it is loading, sir. For me, it is loading.
Yeah, just wait for a few moments. If it is still loading, then I understand. Yeah,
Okay.
still loading, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, then you switch off the video and confirm if you are able to see the screen. For others, it's okay. Are you able to see for others?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. It is visible now.
Okay, great. So the project that we are going to execute for 1 month, very simple project. The idea is very simple. But there's a but, right? To make it work and to have a proper design which is extensible, that you can debug, deploy it on hardware, show it as a project in your resume is not simple. That requires investment of time, thought process, and also a good design, a kind of coding which is which follows certain firmware guidelines and all those things. You will also pick up and execute certain kind of C concepts, which I don't know, maybe till now you are thinking that, oh, that concept, okay, let me put it for some time being. People said that it is complex and all those kind of things. And that project is you are going to create a mini shell for microcontroller, which will enable you to interact with the microcontroller smartly. Now, when I say controller or microcontroller, it is the application that is running on the microcontroller. But you interact with the microcontroller or the application in a smart way. Now, what is so smartness about this shell? It stems from a question that I used to ask, like, we have operating systems and we have a terminal for operating system, and we all know that Linux has something called as bash shell, and Linux Windows also has its command prompt. And everyone who read little bit about Unix or Linux, they are aware of the diagram where the shell is shown as something enclosing the kernel and all those kinds, right? You can think something similar to that. And the reason why we are going to have and asking question, why can't a microcontroller have shell, is to address these things. That the shell that is controlling the microcontroller or covering the microcontroller application should enable people to authenticate and access. There is an application business logic that is of very criticality or critical or important in the microcontroller, the application. Not everyone should be able to access and do anything to it. It is like entering a password and validating ourselves, saying that we are genuine users, and then try to interact with the microcontroller. Now, the application could be any complex application, and the ramifications of somebody sneaking into application and changing certain parameters can prove to be very, very dangerous. Ideally, if it is so critical, there shouldn't be any way that people should be able to access the controller. But yes, people find out ways to sneak into application code, right? So we are talking
Yes,
about
yes.
kind of controller where we are trying to incorporate into our shell an authentication and access mechanism. Bidirectional communication. Based on the fact that if you have an application logic, most of the times a microcontroller application is something like which is in a while one, that I start at time t is equal to 0. If everything works fine, the microcontroller will keep on running till infinity. Either the world ends for it or I switch off the power. Till that time, the microcontroller is continuously doing a single task, right, in a while one loop. Most of the times also, when I know that it is very faithfully doing the task that I am saying it to do, or I want it to do, as long as I'm getting the results, do I really need to have any communication with that? No. If it is a blinking LED and as long I see the LED is continuously blinking, will I even go and touch the code? I don't have to. Yes or no? But this is a situation wherein we are trying to establish a sort of communication with the business logic, and that communication needs to be bidirectional. So this is indirectly pointing out that there is a kind of transport protocol or a transport mechanism that should be existing between the entity that is querying the application logic versus, and between the entity that is querying the application logic and the entity. This is an indication. The moment I say bidirectional communication, there is a transport protocol. As I mentioned earlier, bidirectional communication. So I am trying to get some information from the application logic. We should be able to add some encryption of the data, something which will help us to encrypt the data. These are a kind of some enhancements that you can think of. The shell that you are going to prepare or write should seamlessly integrate with the middleware. The application that is there in the microcontroller anyways is trying to do the best as per the user requirement. In the course of its execution and trying to do the activities needed by the user, it will have certain kind of code which you say that is not actually application, but some kind of middle code which will help the application maybe access the hardware, write something into the database, because application is having its own headaches in terms of managing the requirements. You can think of a library. The user wants to do a printf. That's it. The user is no more worried or should not worry about printf. Printf should come from a library. The string manipulation function should come, random function should come, or any other things that you can think of as a library can be called middleware. But this shell should be seamlessly integrate with the middleware because of its design. Yeah. By doing something with the application, in the sense, by modifying maybe certain parameters, certain aspects, flags, or whatever, I can dynamically now change the application flow, control the application flow. Yeah, getting my point? If there is a flag which is on the in a dynamic nature, if the flag is becoming true, the application can go in a different path altogether. The moment I again shift the application to false, then the application will take a different path. So I should be able to have some mechanism which will control the application flow. I'm not saying it is needed, but I'm saying with a shell, you can do all these kind of things. And you can configure and obtain on the fly. What can you obtain and configure on the fly? The parameters of the application, which is in on one way the same point that I told earlier, that controlling the application flow. Yeah. So it would be great if people can turn on their cameras, because talking with black boxes, because I don't know whether if it. So I would request that rule number one is don't turn off your camera unless and until you are really ashamed of showing what you are doing to everyone. Yeah, till that time you should be able to turn on your camera. Now this is the simplest thing that I want to show, that how your shell will be encompassed in the application code. It's a very simple diagram you all are aware of, that you wrap the application logic. So this sentence should be your guiding part. Whatever application you write actually is not part of this project. You can do any application. You can do as simple an application like just an LED blinking, and your CLI infrastructure, your shell infrastructure should have mechanism to query the state of LED at any point of time. Let us say you have enabled LED for 2 seconds, and then I type the command, then it should say that at time so and so, the application should return saying that LED state is on. At time so and so, the LED state is off. Now, when I'm adding other terminology like at the time so and so, maybe there is RTC. Yeah, maybe there is RTC, right? That's why otherwise, how will it show that at time so and so the application is having the LED state as true or false. So I leave it to your imagination what you want the application logic to be. So that room or that leg space is already given to you, because the shell itself is going to be a bigger entity of code that you are going to write. Now asking you to also decide on an application logic and increase the complexity of the application will only make the matter worse, and 1 month will not be sufficient. Are you getting the point? Which means the onus is more on the creation of the shell or the CLI infrastructure. Application logic, you think which is the least possible application logic that I can write or reuse so that I can make my CLI infrastructure more better, add more features, put more features into it, or when it's already sold, or which I can say that capable of doing more than one task. The design is evolving. One use case I am giving now to facilitate, and this is an option to you. But this is a very wonderful use case which leaves you with a lot of imagination and will make your CLI infrastructure or shell a full-fledged one. And that use case is nothing but underground petrol tank. Now imagine an underground petrol tank. Petrol is obviously a pricey commodity, right? It's one of the costliest liquids. So the petrol bunk owner does not really need or actually is not in favor of having any electronic mechanism inside petrol bunk, but he does it or she does it because there are laws which mandate him or her to have some security mechanism inside a petrol tank, underground petrol tank, so that if the temperature is huge, so something has to be done. If the temperatures are falling too low, something has to be done. There should be some warning of pressure, because when the temperatures are huge, petrol can get liquefied or gaseous state and it can exert more pressure. There should be a mechanism wherein the pipes coming out of petrol tank should be having valves which are tamper proof. If somebody intends to open the tank of the petrol, underground petrol tank cover, then I should be having a mechanism to ring an alarm saying that somebody is trying to do which is not intended. You're getting my point? So this is a use case wherein the control mechanism and the things that we spoke, that access and authenticate and all those things are very, very important, because all the aspects that I am saying can be electronically controlled, right from measuring the level of petrol in the tank, underground tank. Level controllers, you might have seen multiple projects which will control level controllers, right? They say that, okay, at this level, then this is the thing and all those kind of things. From there till the complex applications wherein somebody wants to query at time t0 how much is there, like for example, by end of the day I want to do a auditing. So at time t1 what was the amount of petrol that was there in the tank? Now at the end of that time when the petrol bunk is going for a shutdown, how many liters were spent, how many did we get? All this kind of auditing. The reason is because it is very important to get this data, because anything going wrong with this data implies either the petrol bunk will in a few days go for a loss and will get shut down if the things are not being used, or that the government regulations are going to come and anyways we're going to lose the business. What I'm trying to say is there is money involved in it. So applications like this, and we are the engineers and we are the people who are unsung heroes and unsung heroines actually behind the economy. Government may mandate, but even if you are somebody at your own expense, we are trying to create some infrastructure in your house, something similar that you store and then sell. Would you not want to have a mechanism to measure? We all want to measure our progress and all those things. So this use case is one use case. I believe if you can pick it up, you can create a wonderful shell. Any questions here related to the use case?
Clear.
Okay. Anyone else? Any questions? You can unmute and ask. Okay, then let me go to the next slide, most important slide. The requirements of the shell, or you can also call it CLI infrastructure, CLI front end or front end. Call it by any name. It is ultimately wrapping your application logic and providing user a seamless integration to control the application logic or access the application logic state. It has to be a command-based interaction with application logic. And I'm going to give you only 2 commands. Don't go for so many commands. You are interested to understand at any point of time some state in the application, which is a get operation. You want to get something from application. Oh, okay, petrol tank. Get me the level, current level of petrol. Oh, is it 10 feet? Is it 8 feet? Yeah. Get me the current state of fifth valve, 10th valve. Now the temperature in the environment outside is so cold that the petrol is not actually solidified, but the petrol is getting more dense. So you may think that let me switch on certain heaters, insulated heaters, so that it can make the petrol to become more fluid in nature. So you may want to set the temperature, or you may want to set saying that in case the petrol quantity in the tank comes below 2 feet, then stop dispensing, because there is a minimum requirement of petrol tank holding that much amount of petrol. You cannot let the complete tank get drained out. I don't know the reason, but I'm saying there are use cases to set certain kind of measurements. If it crosses, let us say, beyond 16 feet, then say that the tank is just 1 feet away to overflow. And we don't definitely want that, right? So the threshold, setting thresholds and all those things. And I told access control. So when somebody logs into the device, they should enter their password. Then I need to go and verify the password and say that, oh, this person is a genuine user, let me allow. So for the first time when the user is coming, he has to set some username and password. Then when I have to change the time of the day, like some countries have daylight saving, right? So I want to change the time of the day. So I can set the day, time. I want to get the current time. All those things. Command should have 0 or more parameters. Now, 0 parameterized command should display help string. For example, let me give an example wherein I just say get and enter. So this get function should actually show that, oh, you asked me about get will get you the parameters, value of the parameters, and you can go a bit more and you can say that these are all the parameters of the application logic that you can type get space this parameter to get the value. You can make help string more explanatory or more verbose. Similar for set. I am asking you to think of only 2 commands, get and set. Shell should validate and allow verified users, which is what I told now. User should be able to read, write configurable parameters. For example, time of the day is something, let us assume, is configurable. But once a password is set, it is not configurable. Password is not a configurable parameter, right? Time of the day is a configurable parameter. The thresholds are configurable, but not every threshold. So unconfigurable parameter should result in error string. Shell API should be transport protocol agnostic. So the terminal or the code which is running or the device which is having the terminal, when it tries to talk with the application logic, it does not really need to worry about the transport logic. Are these bits going on UART? Is it an I2C communication? You don't have to worry. That's where I'm saying, do not worry about the application logic. Do not worry about the transport protocol. But for all the people who feel that what is fun, Vamsi, in creating shell, we should actually talk and do something. I would say go for UART, simple TXRX mechanism. Write a simple driver, TXRX driver, and then send the parameters to your application logic. Like you have two boards controlled, or you can connect your TX to RX only within the controller. That's a simple thing. Like there is a loop back. Did you anytime try that? How many
Yes,
of
sir.
Yeah, how many of you tried dummy terminal, that dummy TX RX RS232, that you short circuited TX RX and you type something, the characters actually echo on the hyper terminal. Did anybody do that anytime? Did
Yeah,
anybody
for
use?
confirmation, I checked like UART is working or not.
Yeah,
For that reason, I checked.
yes, we actually do that to really understand whether UART is working or not, and also to actually see whether the cable is working or not. Even not UART, because UART is actually an internal entity, but many a times we get suspicious when things are not coming on the console. We don't know whether the cable itself is bad or not. So we short circuit TX and RX and we do it. It's a very, very basic test, very primitive test also. So I should not worry whether it is TX or RX or, I mean, transport logic, transport agnostic. So for your code, what I am saying is your application logic also can be in your same controller. Your CLI code also can be on the same controller. You put it on the TX, you again receive it on the RX, which will trigger the application, which will just do something in the application logic. You send it from the application logic, it again echoes back and again prints, stores somewhere in your memory only. So what I am saying is if you have one board which has a UART, your project is done. If you don't have any hardware board, this is a simple piece of code that you can run on Linux and it will work. Maybe you may have to do a little bit of file operations. That too, I am saying not needed actually. You're getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, any questions? Oh, you gave us something, but yeah, you spoke something, but now how to start? Vamsi, actually, we came here saying that, okay, when it is a complete project, that you will give us some code and that code will be a bit complex and we will pull our hair and finally figure out what the code is doing. But what on earth you are giving us a project description and you are saying that, come, go and do it. Are you kidding? How many of you are feeling like that? Honestly, type yes in the chat box. And I thought it is project that you will give, like how I bought it in my engineering or anything, that we all friends shared money and bought that project and somehow said that, man, done. How many of you are feeling like that? Be honest. See, this is a closed community, right?
I'm not feeling like that, sir.
Okay. What about others? See, you don't, I strongly suggest that you don't help each other. But for you to help each other, the first step of recognizing a problem is to spell out the problem. You cannot go in front of a doctor and remain silent, right? If you have a stomach ache and you go to doctor and just look at him continuously staring at him, he will first say that, oh, you should have gone to the other kind of unique hospital. So how many of you feel that I came with this expectation, Vamsi, but am I really thinking? How many of you are feeling like that? Because I gave you something which is a project that has to be done in 1 month time. You will do this project, but before that, I want to understand how many of you expected that I would be getting some code or something and not a requirements document. Abdul, what do you think?
Yeah, as you mentioned, it is something new. I mean, mapping and requirement with an application and creating a code for it seems new for me. Yeah,
It's new for you. Okay.
yeah,
So Viji, what is your thing?
yeah, yeah. I'll try my best on this topic. Yeah.
Hi, sir. Even it's new for me as well. Like I thought you will be giving something from scratch only, but I did not thought this.
Something from scratch. Okay.
Means like, yeah, like I didn't expect that you give us the code and change something.
Okay, you expected that you will give, I will give some code and change something, huh?
No, no, no. Like I didn't expect that. I know that you would give something from scratch only because then only we will be able to learn.
So Princey, what? Okay, what told yes? Yes for what, Princey?
That's a previous reply, sir. Not
Okay.
not now. So I have a mix of feelings. I mean, I actually I'm not completely aware of things that you said just now, but I'm sure that I'm going to learn something new, a lot of new things.
Okay. Sheikh.
Yeah, sir. I'm not expecting that you're going to give me some code and it's we need to do this and that. I am expecting something like this only, that we need to do something like command line interface in which we need to make a bash. Yeah, that's I little bit did in my training time when I was in MISS, and at that time we used to make a copy of that. Means we used to take the input by our logic, and then we have uh, uh, use the same bash commands so that it will copy all the files which is there in the actual bash command. So little bit up to the bash commands and all those things, how to use by using commands and system calls. Little bit I have idea with that, but I actually don't know how it will we going to create this, and it will interact with all the required commands in the uh, with every command of the microcontroller, how it will going to provide us the level. If we are entering such command about level, it will need to provide the level, time, temperature, all those things I don't know, but I think I may get it.
Okay. Perfect. I got it. So let me draw one small diagram for you. Let me share the screen and write a small, do a small diagram. Then you will understand what this code is all about. Okay. So this is your application logic. Yeah. It could be as trivial as blinking LED or as complex as controlling a nuclear reactor. What I am asking you is put in front of it one layer of software so that the entity which is interested to access the application for its help or get some parameters from application do not have direct access to application. So this person will come, he will say, tell me, like a separate secretary or peon or whatever. He will go here, but here this person can validate the request, yeah, reject, accept, and do anything. Then it just passes on a valid command to the application, and application logic will have intelligence to understand what it is. And how do you do that? This code, when I say handing it over, actually might be calling a function from this. Pictorially, I'm drawing a diagram, but actually if you see the code is one piece only. Just that you have two files for this or three files for this, whatever. You have app.c, app.h, and you have my shell.c, my shell.h, or my CLI.c and my CLI.h. So you will have some application app.h getting included in this file so that whatever are the top level public APIs are there for this application, right, are accessible to this. Otherwise, how will actually this fellow go and even read something? I cannot write. If I have to use printf, I should include stdio.h, standard io.h. So it's like that. So there is no rocket science here. Make sense? Is the diagram making sense now? So you get some response. Here you don't have to do any validation. You just pass it on to this person. Making sense? Now the configuration parameters can be inside a database. Now when I say a database, I am saying database as a generic word where there is some certain storage mechanism. That's it. It is not quote unquote a database. Yeah. You devise your own storage mechanism. Maybe a hash table,
Sir,
maybe some
buffer like a character array, like buffer, something like that.
sorry.
Like buffer, like character array, something to store the.
Wherever you want to show, you keep all global variables only. I don't care. Int LED underscore unsigned int LED underscore status. That's the only variable which is becoming either true or false. Now what is your database finally becoming? One integer. That's it, because it is storing value. You create a structure which contains 10 parameters. Every time I ask fifth parameter, go to the structure, read fifth parameter and return it to me. But what I am saying is there should be some mechanism to hold the configuration data. If you use some decent way of holding the data, so in your final project ranking, I would be very happy to give few more points to you. Making sense? So ultimately what is happening is this fellow is interested to read something here or set something here or read from here. Just that this person who is the user, yeah, is not having a VIP access to application. This is like black commandos, black cat, NSG commando. Yeah. Around our prime minister, like we see all those people well suit in crisp suit, carrying suitcases, they will be around prime minister or jet security, right? Kind of that thing. So if somebody is saying, oh, get me something, so this person will say, boss, it's okay. You are asking me to get something, but get what? Set something. Okay, set what? That's where the parameters come. How many of you used bash programming, or how many of you did something on the terminal? ls minus l, copy, dir, cd. We all have done that, right? I'm
Yes.
talking about the same thing only. And I'm telling in a very simplest way, how can you do it? Yeah. Now I
Yes.
know you will bow before bow before Google God, and you will say, oh, Google God, hand over me something. What I'm trying to say is I have already done that. So if you see Control C, Control V like musicians, I know what music you are going to play. Maybe look at it, but understand it and do it in your own way. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Any questions with this? See, it's a complete hand-holding thing. Don't get scared. Don't overthink. You are not being left alone. The game just started. Picture abhi baki hai. Any questions till now? The only way to make mind clear, as far as I know, from ages, the only mechanism is to ask question. Because questions are those speed breakers which stop the thought process.
One silly dot, sir.
Yeah, you ask, then in my mind will say whether it is silly or not silly.
Sir, for every parameter, the user need to authenticate his password or whatever the parameter we will set. He need for every database parameters, he need to authenticate his password. Just like we used to do in the Linux. For even simple update, we need to enter our password for every update. Just like that.
Not necessary. That would be a overkill. See, because when you are saying type in the user ID and type in the password once, maybe you store that user. Yeah. And for brevity and simplicity, assume that there is only one user. For the first time the user is trying to access the device, give the access and store it. Yeah. But ideally, yeah. Because every kind of operation may need a fresh access. Because maybe the shell needs to have a timeout. So this is what I'm saying. This is a kind of project where you can add so many features. For example, if it is, let us assume it is proper SQLite DB, the database is proper SQLite DB, then I need to have wrappers to write into database and read into database. The moment I say proper database, then I need to have a file, so I can have a file system. When I'm saying encryption, you can actually encrypt with complex encryption. Are you getting my point? These are all advanced features that you can add to this infrastructure. And why am I telling these things? This is a real project. Any shell actually has all these things. You do it at a minor scale, at a minor level with certain n minus 100 requirements. A ideal shell will have n requirements for so many things. But even if you do it n minus 50 requirements, this is a project that you can put it on your resume and it will be valued so much. So here is what I want you to, when you are thinking about the project, I want you to close your eyes and always think one thing. Anyways, we are going to get into that resume thing. And that one image that should always strike to your mind is when you close your eyes, you need to see that 4 to 5 statements that are present in your resume saying that I have developed this particular code. You're getting my point? And you should always have that vision of your GitHub with these files. And when I see your GitHub at regular intervals of time, somebody, a recruiter sees, he or she should see that regular green dots saying that you are active on GitHub. When I look at your LinkedIn post, maybe on 26th, by the time your thing would be already done, right? Your challenge would have been done. When I see your LinkedIn posts, series of LinkedIn posts, if I see the history, I should be seeing how Princey actually traveled from handful of requirements and daily progressed, and finally I see on 20th day or 19th day saying that, oh, my final check-in in my GitHub done, and I tested with so and so. I have written these 4 test cases. These are the 5 corner test cases that I have written. And then if you are super, if you are super energetic and all those things, maybe you write a blog also, or you prepare a document. Then I read your 20-page document, which you have uploaded somewhere in your Google Doc or something, and then give access to recruiters. When somebody reads, they know that you have traveled the path of creating a project. Now wear the hat of a recruiter and think, or a senior project manager or a principal engineer or an architect, think from their perspective. If you see a person whose 30 days of past history shows that that person has gone through a journey of taking requirements and converting into a project which is not trivial. The GitHub is green every day with a green dot. The LinkedIn posts are coming and they are talking about the journey. The low-level design document, high-level design documents are present. Will you not take that person into your team? Yes or no? Type in the chat box. If you are that senior person who has seen somebody travel this path, will you not take that person into your team? Because you don't have to train that person. It's a ready-made product. Now the question is, why can't you become that? This journey is all about it. This journey is not just technical, but it is also that mindset change which takes you from a mere consumer who consumes a lot of information but goes nowhere. Out of every 100 early career people, I find 110 early career people who are on hamster wheel. They run very fast, they consume their energy, they exhaust their energy, but they don't progress anywhere. And I don't want you people to be that. And I was asking, that's the reason that what's your commitment level? And that's the reason why you are being awarded points. Is this diagram making things clear now? What is expected? Yeah?
Yes, sir.
So now simple things, very, very simple things you need to do daily. I would be sharing with you one document which are job affirmations. It doesn't matter whether you are doing a job or not doing a job or planning to get a job. These are the affirmations I want you to read every day. Just record them in your WhatsApp every day and share it in the group. There are 8 to 9 points. Just open the, that icon, right? Mic icon in the WhatsApp. Say it out loud and just post it in the group. Yeah. And in the LinkedIn, the rules are that you need to tag me and Bharat because we have many other activities that are going on. So when we are on LinkedIn, we want to see the notification at some point of time in the day to know that you have done the post. Make sense? Yeah. And using that hashtag is very important because in case we were not able to look at the post on particular day, we will anyways go and look at your dashboard. And by the way, how many of you have seen the folder that was shared to you? Did you
Yes,
log
sir.
into that folder and did you see that what is there?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you will tick a box, but how do I know that what you put a tick is correct or not? We are searching every post by using that hashtag. I click that hashtag, I go to all the posts that has that hashtag. And that's the reason. It's a checking mechanism. It's a cataloging mechanism. And along with tagging, if you do tagging and we have time, we will instantly see it. Else, at the end of the day, we will click that hashtag and we will see it. Who has done that? Yes. So LinkedIn every day has to be done. Your affirmations every day has to be done. And every day you should put in your GitHub. This is apart from the application code, because application code anyways you can't start today only right away, but you need to build your C programming muscle. Pick up any C book that you are comfortable with. Somebody has fascination for Balaguru Swami, somebody has for, let us see, Ashwant Kanitkar. You have your own choice of C book when you are studying, right? Pick up that C book, start writing the code and push that code into GitHub. Every day, if it is a small piece of code, go for 2 or 3 programs. Yeah? Making sense? And this calls for your time investment. Because we want to be somebody who is above certain level in C language because we want to implement something from scratch. Now there will be one book that will be shared to all of you. Yeah. And that one book is called the C Companion. And I have mentioned multiple times in my post also the C Companion. So what you are going to do today, because tomorrow it will be LinkedIn session. Yeah. So today, or to be precise, till the next day, is that you will be completing chapter 1 and chapter 5. In that book, C Companion. Because chapter 5 will actually tell you how to develop a project from scratch. If you become capable of developing a project from scratch, from requirements, when you get into a company, you can very easily navigate and win over the programs or code where the code is already written and you need to make changes to it, either fixing bugs or adding certain features. And this is an investment of you for the lifetime. And I'm going to give you that kind of value which you will not get even if you pay for. Even paid courses will not give you this. Go to any institute which are taking multiple thousands. You will not get a project where somebody will handhold you from scratch. First thing. No institute will tell you how to build a brand on LinkedIn. No institute will tell you how to write a resume that is tailor-made as per your capabilities and job description. Any questions? So I will be. Yeah,
Sir,
sure.
you told me, sir, about that you will send some points about jobs. So we need to give our opinion on the mic on the WhatsApp in the group. Our opinion, what we have learned from that, or
No, job affirmations. So it's a sheet of paper where you have affirmations, which will build the positive mindset.
Mhm.
So you need to read the document. And how do I know you have read the document? You record that and you send, right?
Okay. The
There are
whole
it's all 8 sentences, 9 sentences. You need to read it out loud and record it and send it to me
Okay.
on WhatsApp. Yeah.
Okay, sir.
This is a proven method where many of my mentees got interview calls in a very big way. 15, 16 interview calls, they got it. But sticking to the process is utmost important, and consistency kills. The outside world around you can be smarter, intelligent, intellectual, but you should tell to yourself, I am going to crush your smartness with my consistency. I don't care how intelligent you are. Maybe your father is the chief scientist and all those things, but I am least bothered. But I am such a kind of person who has so much amount of consistency that you cannot even dream in your life. You need to tell to yourself that I will be the one who will be on the playground even before coach, and I will be the last person who will be leaving the ground. Then these things are nothing. Actually, this project is nothing. What it requires is some systematic thinking. How? I'm going to give you the raw material for that. Minus the code. See, if I give the code, then there's no point. There is nothing like doing some from scratch. Got it? LinkedIn posting every day, tagging us, and your progress is very, very important because that's the motivation factor. And you have just 4 opportunities for one-on-one call with me. You could be somebody who excels every week and get that points, and you can even grab those 2 hours with one-on-one with me. Because I told half an hour, right? Whoever gets the maximum number of points, I give them half an hour one-on-one. Who is stopping you or any one of you to become the top scorer in the first week and second week and third week and fourth week? And these all things, I want to be very transparent, and I would be talking a lot about this challenge completely on LinkedIn. Yeah. And that is my promise to give branding from my side, because I have so many followers that when they see, there are many recruiters in that, when they see that you are doing something and you are there, they will eventually come to you. There are people from different levels in different companies. They will eventually come and see who is this person doing it. Yeah. Any questions? Wow, what MC, you told so much. This my sleep has gone. Now I'll be thinking how my code will evolve. It will evolve. Just understand that you have gone through in your life so many things, and this code is actually nothing. Your limiting talk inside you saying that I'm not good enough, I'm not good with the code. Because Vijay might be thinking, I am a mechatronics engineer, boss. I know that C comes after B. Beyond that, I don't know anything about C. And you are asking me to write code in that. Take help of ChatGPT. If you can figure out the requirements, and if you read the 5th chapter the book that I'm going to share with you, right? The C companion. If you read the 1st chapter and 5th chapter, 1st chapter will take just, I mean, you just read it and in half an hour you can finish your 1st chapter. Then you go to the 5th chapter and start reading it, right? It will make a lot of sense to you how to start from scratch. You need to put into practice. What is needed is just massive action and immediate massive action. Because we are going to talk about if RTOS, it's all about times, tasks and time management only, right? No, I will share the book. I will share the book to you. Yeah, a soft copy of the book, I will put it in your drive. So you don't have to worry. Real-time system is all about that. If you do something after the deadline has passed, it's as good as not doing it at all. So do massive action now. And you have a window of till May is the time when companies open their budgets, allocation, and team and all those things. After that, slowly you may get a job, but you will get the jobs which are left over on the table. It's like you visiting a party, your friends have already eaten all the gobi manchuria. You have that remaining chili and a little bit of capsicum here and there. In May and June, you will get all those things. Then holiday time starts, right? Slowly things will become more dull. So you have a small window period of 3 to 4 months. And you repeat this one, continue for 2 more projects. Your resume is ready. Your LinkedIn branding is ready. Your GitHub shows your proofs. And I did not say that. I just asked, and you all told that you want to recruit a person like that. And I'm saying just become that person. That's it. Yeah. Got it? So this video will be uploaded into the playlist, and the playlist will be given to you. And the book will be copied into your thing. So do not forget today that you check the boxes and get the points, because the dashboard will become ready and we are tracking it very closely. Yeah. So we'll call it a day. Every session will end up with certain action points, and this action point you have anyways that thing, but from my side, the action points are I will give you the affirmations guide, and I'm going to share with you the CE companion book. Okay. Clear? Type
Yes,
C in
sir.
the chat box so that we can conclude the call. There are no questions. Okay, she says C. See, people already know C language.
Sir, you also going to share the slides, sir, which are very helpful, sir, when you are discussing about the application and all those things. No? That slides also, if we get it better.
Slides.
Yeah, sir, slides.
Why do you want slide? I'm saying you will get the video only, right?
Yeah, sir, but it will be better now, sir, if we switch directly from one slide to other slide directly, because that
Okay.
points.
Okay, I will put the book, the slide, and the video in OneDrive, and I will share it to you all.
Thank you, sir. Thank
Every
you, sir.
material of this challenge would be there in that drive.
Very kind of you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay then. Okay then. Yeah.
Hi, sir. Sir, like after this call, can I speak with you, sir, once?
I have another call. Actually, that person is waiting.
Okay, sir.
Okay, other people can log off. If you want to work with me personally, where I guarantee to work with you until you secure a well paid job, book a one on one call with me. Link is in the description.